Hey everybody, Kenny Wisdom here, bringing you another Expanded Friday, and as you can see, I've got a Rails deck with a twist. For those of you who don't know, the basic Rails deck uses Eelektrik's Dynamotor ability, which is the same as Metal Link's on the new Bronzong, except for with electric energy, to power up Rayquaza EX and do Dragon Burst, discarding all of your electrics to do, hopefully just knock out your opponent's Pokemon, no problem. And that was a deck that was around, it's still around and expanded, I guess, but was dominant in 2012 and 2013. You use Keldeo and Floatstone to rush in, retreat to be able to Dynamotor back onto Rayquaza. You have a single copy of Zekrom here just to act as a non-EX lightning type attacker against something like Mega Rayquaza or anything else weak to lightning. And then you've got your basic suite of supporters. With expanded, you get Super Rod, and you also get Level Ball, which are two really important cards to the deck. And the real interesting thing that I've added, I went a little deep here, and I've added a single copy of Mega Rayquaza, hoping that just, we have shamans, we have eels, we want to get 2 or 3 eels up, maybe we have the big bench, 6, 7 Pokemon, and maybe we just go in with an Emerald Break instead of a Dragon Burst. Maybe that's just what we want to be doing. To help that out, we've got Skyfield, 3 copies, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Besides that, it's a pretty regular Eels deck. Because we do have the Mega, and because we do have things like Super Rod, I've cut down the energy a bit. I really like 8 and 5, but 7 and 4 I think is fine. We have 2 Spirit Links as well to accommodate that, and I really don't know how this is going to go. It's very possible that just Dragon Bursting all day long is all you want to do, and that's just good enough, but I figured I'd try out the Mega Rayquaza, add a little something different to the deck, maybe surprise some people. So yeah, I'll see you in round 1. Hey guys, Kenny Wisdom here, back for round 1, and we see our opponent mulligan a bunch of water and Sharon and stuff. Alright. Gonna go ahead and start with Rayquaza. Would like to draw for our opponent's mulligan. Will we be going second? Ooh, Suicune. Luckily, we have our Zekrom. So our opponent's gonna go ahead and Great Ball. Play a Tierno. A Squirtle. Oh, we're gonna see some Blastoise action. Interesting. Well, Level Ball helps. Gonna Level Ball for a Dynamo since we have all the yields we'll need. Play the Dynamo, and don't really feel like Color saying and us down to 2, and we have all the stuff we're gonna, or we have all the stuff we're gonna need, but we have the eel for next turn at least. So because we have the Versus Seeker in our hand, I'm going to go ahead and Celestial Roar. I would not recommend doing this at home. Oh, well, we did hit a lightning. Well. Alright, not the worst case. I was really hoping to dump a supporter there so we could Versus Seeker it back. But we just need to hit a fire to be able to Last Enter this War Total and Dragon Burst it, so I'm not too concerned. But we will need to draw something fairly soon. Celestial Roaring isn't exactly what you want to be doing all the time, but hey, you only die once. That's what I always say. Alright, let's go ahead, take these. Let's attach from hand like this. Lysander out this guy. I would like to discard these. Nice. So, taking a prize, and it's a Juniper. Nice. So, would actually prefer not to have to play this Juniper, getting rid of 2 Versus Seekers and a Colorist. So, hopefully, our opponent benches some stuff. If we top deck a Dynamo, I would also just play it and wait. Having 2 eels up is pretty important. Decks can also play the non-EX Rayquaza, the Dragon type that has Shred, which will get through this ability. Something we might have considered, but our Zekrom should be enough to get us there. Opponent not doing too much. Alright, Ultra Ball. So hopefully our opponent Ultra Balls for a Shaman or something and plays a bunch of Pokemon so we can Colress next turn. Ooh, Blastoise. Gonna go ahead and hit us for 70. There's an N. Alright, so I like to see. I'll attach here. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and end. No reason to waste those resources. I'll get a Dynamo here. Could Celestial Roar, but we already have the N in our discard pile. Really do need to find a Zekrom. Yeah, I also don't want to mill a Zekrom, I guess. So, just gonna go ahead and pass the turn back. At some point, it may be correct to Dragon Burst, discarding the fire, just so I can get the fire and the discard back. Although I guess I'm just gonna have it when he knocks out my guy anyways. Alright, Ultra Ball. So, let's go ahead and Ultra Ball like this. Hopefully find the Zekrom, assuming it isn't prized. If it is, we have a harder time. And it is. Alright, so now we're going to need to attack with Eels. So we're going to take that Eelektrik, and then we'll play an N. And we're going to Dynamotor onto Eelektrik. This is also not a strategy I would exactly recommend at home, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I guess I can play this level ball for the last Dynamo. And Electric Ball. So our opponent has this turn to find something, and if they don't, it's gonna be game over. There's a Charon, so I'm glad to see that as their supporter. Would rather have them not have a supporter, of course, but drawing 3 isn't exactly the best supporter in the world. So let's see what happens. So from here, so our opponent does have a Pokemon, so we're still fine. Like, they're not going to be able to knock out this Eel. This turn we have 90, they're doing 70 unless they find a Muscle Band, which would be unfortunate. And we're going to have 3 Eels up pretty soon. Anything they play that's not a Suicune we can knock out with Rayquaza. And despite not drawing a whole lot, we are in a pretty good position now. We just have the Eels up. And if our opponent just hits us here, I'm fine with just attacking and maybe losing this Eel later. Giant Cape. What the heck? Alright, well, that's gonna hurt our plans a little bit, but we can also triple Dynamotor, although we only have 2 in the discard, so we can also Dynamotor attach, which is what we're gonna do. We're gonna Dynamotor onto itself, Dynamotor onto itself, attach, retreat, discarding Electric, Fire, because I want the Fire to be back for Super Rotting, Juniper, evolve there. Could potentially get Keldeo Floatstone online, discarding like this. And attack, and once again our opponent has to have an answer here. They're not just dead, they do have the Pokemon on their bench, but this Suicune will be knocked out pretty soon. Taking a look at the Articuno on their bench. They're typing to me, but I can't read their language. I'm just going to give them a smiley face. So yeah, definitely an interesting game. Our opponent's playing kind of unorthodox cards, and we have to take an unorthodox strategy because of that, but shows you how versatile eels are. Back in the old Pokemon catcher days, one strategy was to, if you had extra Dynamotors for the turn, just Dynamotor onto your eel, just to make it so that if they catchered you, you could either retreat just from the Dynamotor attachments or attach and retreat. Skyfield, nice. Let's go ahead and color us before we make any other decisions. Ooh, do we just Mega Evolve? How many Dynamotor, or how many Electric do we have in here? Just the one. I'll attach. Mega Evolve. Dynamotor. Retreat. And Emerald Break for the knockout. So now our opponent actually has to find an answer this turn. Again, they've been in this spot a lot. They have a whole lot of cards in their hand. I don't really have a doubt that they'll find an Ultra Ball for something to stay alive, but we've definitely taken a pretty dominant position in the game, especially because our opponent can't attack this turn unless they find a DCE, which is certainly possible. Yeah, and I'm fine with just Dynamotoring onto this eel and then attaching Rush in, Retreat. Ooh, actually, I could just Megaphone. Okay, that was actually a mistake. Wow, I could have just had the game, but regardless. Actually, do I just have the game? Yeah, okay. So, Electric Ball, and that'll be the game. So, unorthodox game all around. Our opponent didn't really get much set up. Tried to stop us, but luckily we have a bunch of fairly efficient non-EX attackers in our deck. So, that was round 1. I'll see you in round 2. Hey everyone, Kenny Wisdom back for round 2 of this expanded tournament with Ray Eels. I will go first. Going first is pretty important in these type of decks. When you have evolutions that you need to get on board. Interesting. Starting with Shaman, not great, but we'll deal with it. We'll play the Dynamo down. Ooh, Reshiram. Alright, so I think what we'll do is we will go like this to find. Do we find an N or do we find a Rayquaza? I think we just want to find an N. Don't particularly want to discard any Eelektrik and its second Juniper. Nice double Dynamo on board is always good to have. Don't want to discard. Actually, I guess we need to find a Rayquaza. I was going to say I don't want to discard any of the cards in my hand, but I guess we just have to discard like this. Find a Rayquaza and ship the turn back. Opponent shouldn't be able to knock us out regardless. We have the Versus Seeker for Colress or N. Actually, probably would have been Fiery Torch. Would have been better for us to Versus Seeker for the N back just to play around any potential. Well, I mean, our opponent will be able to knock us out. No, right, okay. So they're gonna be doing 80 if they hit the heads. But yeah, as I was saying, uh, might have versus Secret rather for a Pokemon or for a supporter just so we could play around Seismitoad. Hitting us here is fine, I think. Um, don't really mind either way. Would we don't have DCEs, so we don't really have a way for our Shaman to bounce back easily, so not too concerned about this. It's gonna do 50 to us. Evolve here. We could play the Professor's Letter, but I don't think we do. I just think we take the N here, play the N, find the second eel. Zekrom seems fine. Do we have 2 lightning? No, just the 1. Still think I probably just Dynamotor the single lightning on. And so the debate I'm having now is whether I Float Stone and Mega Evolve. Although I guess there's still a chance they knock us out with that, right? 150, we have 50 on us. I guess they can't. I guess that seems better than just getting knocked out next turn. Could have attached the Float Stone, but I might as well save it if it does get knocked out or something. Somehow I have it for next turn. Opponent going off with these roller skates. Don't really have a way to do anything next turn, which is pretty painful. The crushing hammer doesn't really matter too much. There's 150, and it's going to do 52 itself. That's pretty nice. Come on, supporter. No, Skyfield. So I'm just going to attach like this. Retreat into this Zekrom. I guess I'll Dynamotor onto this guy just in case. No reason to play the Skyfield and pass the turn. Hopefully our opponent will have to Brave Fire. They will get the knockout, but at risk of doing another 50 to themselves. Ooh, Lysander. Okay, so this is basically worst case scenario. They're going to be able to Glinting Claw to knock us out. What was Tails? Oh, I just was 50. Alright, so now we're actually in a pretty tough spot, and we very well may lose this game. Alright, Juniper was a pretty clutch draw. So we have 1 lightning in the discard right now. So let's Ultra Ball. Does with Crushing Hammer. So let's Ultra Ball like this. Find another Rayquaza. Dynamotor. Dynamotor. Attach and just pass the turn. If our opponent wants to Lysander us again, they will have to use the big attack. I guess they won't actually because they can't knock us out. It's probably just use a small attack. But if they don't have a Lysander, they'll knock us out with a big attack and take a bunch of damage. They don't have any energy on their bench, so I think if we're going to win this game, this next 1 or 2 turns is what is going to prove whether we can pull through or not. At this point, it doesn't really matter to us because we have 2 lightning. We have to discard both of them, doing 120. So I guess we actually do want our opponent to have to brave fire and miss here. Opponent isn't active? Okay, no they're not, but we'll see what happens. Looks like our opponent's thinking quite a bit, attaching the that Reshiram on the bench. It's a good sign. Should have actually discarded the Juniper off the Ultra Ball. Ending our opponent to 3 here would be pretty big. Level ball for a Dynamo. Attach like this. Professor's letter. Get 2 lightning. Ultra ball those away for another Rayquaza. Play the Rayquaza. Attach the lightning via Dynamotor. And let's Dragon Burst. Taking 2 prizes, 2 lightning, not the best. Would have rather had one of those be a fire, but I feel like unless our opponent pulls off something here, this is where we win. Should be. I guess if our opponent has Lysander for Shaman here, it'll be rough, but besides that, we should take over pretty quickly. Let's level ball. Find this last eel. We have plenty of energy in here. 3, yeah, that's fine. I guess we versus Seeker for Colress. Alright, there's Floatstone for Keldeo. Attach like this. Dynamotor here. Rush in. Retreat like this. Dynamotor here once. It's my last Dynamotor on this little guy. And this is kind of how the chain works. As you can see, we're just putting our opponent, because we have the triple eels up, 2 Rayquazas and the Keldeo, we're just putting our opponent in a position where we're just Dynamotoring over and over again. The Suicune could present a problem, but next turn we are very likely to just Lysander, versus Secret for Lysander for the Charizard, and do that again the next turn. If the Suicune does become a problem, we can just do what we did last game. So we need 1 more Dynamotor. Right here. Let's versus Seeker the Lysander. Lysander out this one. Push in. Pretty repetitive gameplay at this point. Gonna go ahead and Dynamotor. And Dragon Burst. So, we do not have the Versus Seeker in our deck, or in our hand rather, to find the Lysander. So, We may have to try and attack with an eel again, but I'm not too concerned. Opponent's going to try to lock an eel up, but that doesn't actually do anything. Unless they can knock us out somehow. But I don't think they can. Yeah, that's just actually way better for us. Alright, so let's use Level Ball. Show all the cards in our deck. There is a Versus Seeker there, so we're going to attach like this, attach like this, attach a Floatstone, and attach from our hand here, and then we're going to draw 2 cards off Shaman and hope we find the Versus Seeker. We didn't. Okay, so that's fine. As it is, we're just going to Dynamotor here, Dynamotor here. Oh, we've already attached from hand. Oh, no, we have this Dynamotor. Right, okay. Thought I messed that sequence up somehow. And do 50. Our opponent can just get out of this, but whatever they do shouldn't matter. We have 3 cards in our deck, and one of them is a Versus Seeker, so pretty good chances we win the game next turn. Additionally, they have to do something to make us not win the game. If they retreat to one of their EXs, we knock them out with Rayquaza. If they leave the Suicune up, we knock it out with Eelektrik. They need to cut off some of our potential, heal their Suicune, do something. I'm fine with escape roping to our Floatstoned eel. I think this should just be game then. Yeah. Retreat to this guy. Dragon Burst for a bunch of damage and win the game. So, opponent playing an Orthodox deck started off really strong. We drew pretty poorly. We want to take it nice, but yeah, we drew pretty poorly. Opponent started off pretty strong, but after we got the Eels and Rayquaza up, we were able to win pretty easily, and I'll see you guys in the finals. Hey everybody, Kenny Wisdom here, back for the finals of this expanded tournament. We're going to mulligan, and our flush mulligan actually revealed what we were doing with the Mega, unfortunately. So this hand's fine. We have Level Ball to find another Dynamo. Wow, Suicune decks are everywhere here. Level Ball to find another Dynamo. We have the Ultra Ball to find either a Shaman if you want to draw cards, or a Rayquaza. Looks like our opponent's playing some water stuff, so let's Level Ball for another Dynamo. Play that. Ultra Ball like this, and find a Shaman EX. Zekrom's not prize, which is pretty nice. And Level Ball for another Dynamo. And what did our opponent do last turn? Just a letter and a Skylight? Yeah, let's just N. Ultra Ball like this for a Rayquaza. Or sorry, Zekrom. And then pass the turn. Unlikely their opponent can do anything next turn. Pidgey. Goodness. We can evolve to an electric. We haven't discarded any, yeah, so hopefully evolve to 2 electrics, attach Dynamotor twice, and knock out the... Ooh, oh, they have the DCE, wow, okay. So this changes things a bit. Let's just promote like this. Attach here. I'll wait the Dynamotor after I see the result of this Juniper, actually. Floatstone. Nice. Actually, do we Ultra Ball for a Floatstone? Well, we Level Ball for a Eel, we know that much. And then, yeah, I might just go Ultra Ball like this for Keldeo. Play the Keldeo, Floatstone, Dynamotor, Russian Retreat, Bolt Strike. We're going to take 40 in the process, but even if our opponent had the Suicune, they couldn't knock us out unless they had a Muscle Band or something. Or sorry, even if they had the Suicune with an Energy on it. So they'd need to find like Archies for Blastoise plus a Muscle Band to knock us out. Don't see that happening anytime soon. Let's just Lysander like this. And Bolt Strike, take 40 more, take another prize. We'll need to find something. I mean, we have plenty of time, I guess. What's this Peck off to? Just this Panda discards tools. Yeah, so I guess we'll have time. If our opponent doesn't find something here, we win the match and the tournament. But Skyla tells me they are going to be able to have something going on. Dive Ball. Articuno EX. Yowza. Colorus is a nice draw there. Let's go ahead and I'll only attach one Floatstone just in case something goes wrong. Yeah, I'll get the last Dynamo. Just thin my deck out a bit. So if he finds a water, he can do 60. Outrage for 200. And I'd like to find a Rayquaza. Rayquaza at the top is just insane for us. We have the letter to get the fire. Knock this guy out. But we have the Reverse Seeker for whatever supporter we want, so that should be fine too. Ooh, it turned on my bench too. Promote like this, I suppose. I guess I just Juniper. Whoops. Just slam the Juniper. Wow, still no Rayquaza. Interesting. Alright, well, it's Super Rod. Nope, no Lightning Energy. Super Rod, Zekrom, Dynamo, Lightning back in. I'll evolve here. And because this guy could actually do some work here. So I think I'm going to go ahead, Dynamotor twice onto Shaman. And then 80. And Pokemon's paralyzed. So yeah, let's just promote like this. Versus Seeker for a Skyla, maybe for a Colorus Machine. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the Plasma on this Skyla. He doesn't actually need it, does he? No, he doesn't actually need it. He's gonna get the Paralyze for later. And Rayquaza. No, there's a Juniper again. But I don't know if we have any fires left. Well, I guess we just gotta try for it. Okay, so there's a Rayquaza. Attach. Floatstone here. Dynamotor, and then we should Dynamotor, retreat, promote. Even if our opponent does Frost Prison us this turn, we should be able to rush and retreat. Scramble switch. That's fine. We still have the rush and retreat ability. I'm not too concerned. Ooh, wow, Silent Lab. Okay, we can just computer search for a Skyfield unless we've used all of them, which we have not. I'll discard like this. Ooh, looks like we have one prized. Alright, so let's just take a fire. Dynamotor. Dynamotor, and we're forced to just pass the turn back. Could actually lose this match. I think this kind of goes to show how inconsistent the deck can be. We have won our first two matches so far off of some, drawing pretty poorly and then evening out in the end, and this match doesn't seem like that's going to happen. So let's just load up a bunch of energy on this guy. And pass the turn. Ooh, that's rough. So I guess we just have to evolve and end the turn here. I guess we can Dynamotor some more. Skyla, interesting. So yeah, we actually might lose the match. The deck seems fine. They're getting a Lysander for next turn. Whew. Okay, so the important thing is they're not attaching energy to this Articuno here, because either way They're going to have to knock something out eventually, unless my opponent sees the play of Lysandering the Keldeo. But no, it doesn't sound like they do. They're just gonna go ahead. Oh, they took the 3 prizes. All right, so that was a pretty crushing loss. I think what we could have done earlier there is take a Rayquaza earlier instead of the Keldeo. That might have been a little fancy on our part. Interesting to lose to a kind of a more rarely seen / unorthodox deck, but we did make the finals. The deck seems pretty inconsistent. I can't help but think if I took out the Skyfields and the Mega Rayquazas and put in maybe another of each energy, maybe some more things like that, another Ultra Ball maybe would have evened things out. But was a fun test of the deck. Made the finals. Again, I don't think the deck was super consistent. All of our wins we had to kind of scratch to get there, and this one we just didn't put it together. So congrats to our opponent, and I'll see you next week.